Hello, it's Texas Toast Tori here. Thank you so much for popping by, and we're going to be working on this little piece called Waves. So for the stream, I started out with some line art already done, like a little bit of the hair, but then I went on to, just add more line art. Originally, I wasn't even going to stream this one, but I had a few people on Instagram request it, so I thought, okay, well, it's going to be very complicated, so we're mainly only going to see line art on the stream, but something's better than nothing. So this little piece around the hair is actually one of my favorite parts of the waves. I just think that they come together like really nicely. Kind of figuratively rolling waves in her hair. When I had originally sketched this out, it was, just a messy sketch to see like what happened, and I think I overcomplicated it for myself in that it was no longer going to be like an easy drawing, but it does pay out because the effort put in was really nice. And here you can see that I'm messing up, trying to draw that one wave over and over again. I suck with curves, even if I have sensitivity on its max. I'm just really bad. And actually, I always have sensitivity on max because my hands are very shaky naturally. So drawing becomes like a problem. That's actually why you typically don't see me coming out with too much every day. But I do try because it is really a passion of mine. And then we get to see some anime boobies. And then I thought, because her body is just basically nude, it's supposed to like represent sand, but a nice little like piece of shell right here, it seemed cute. Now I'm just gonna go in and continue more of the line work, let everything just kind of flow, watch where the waves begin and end, see what's underneath. By this point, I kind of just got tired looking at that brown background. I am honest with you, this coloring job has really nothing to do with the progress of the picture at all. I just need to look at more colors. I'm that type of person. I can't stare at a brown piece of paper and work in charcoals and whites. I like color. And although I'm very, that's actually the funny part, is that my skill is grayscale. I'm actually very good at working with pencil, charcoal, chalk, those types of things, but it's boring. It's so boring. And imagine sitting in an art class, having to do that for like 5 hours on end. The funny story is that when I had originally joined beginning drawing, which is, the class I'm referencing, we were told that it was only going to be like, I think a 3 or 2 hour class, but it actually turned out to be a 5-hour class the days that we walked in. So when we were signing up, we were told by the school, this is a 3-hour class, you're going to be in here for 3 hours. And we're like, okay. But when we actually enter the room, the teacher walks up and she's like, this is a 5-hour class. And I kid you not, that day, 70% of the class left because that's not what we were told. And it's just kind of funny. So, with fall semester coming up for many of you guys, I know that school is going to start up again. Maybe some of you are no longer in online classes, but just kind of be aware that a lot of what you're told in the beginning is not exactly what you're going to get. And that's okay. You have to learn to be adaptable. You have to learn to understand that that's kind of part of life, but just know that it's coming. And that's my fair warning to you. Sorry, my computer had crashed and I lost a big portion of what I was working on. I lost a lot of the finishing line work. If you're really curious about what happened, this is the line work when it was finished, and then I was able to start back up right here with the line art done and the blue added. So thank you for not being too angry with me about that. yeah, that computer crash set me back so much. I was so lost. You're gonna see that gray for a lot of this picture. I know it's funny that I said like I hate looking at gray, but it is again what I work best with. So what I'm going to do, as you'll see, is I'm going to map out most of the colors and I'm going to work on that gray for most of the time to add like depth. Here are the eyes, and I actually think this is like one of the prettiest parts of this picture. Like the in line art, the detail was super pretty, but in color, I think her eyes just like kind of mesmerize me for some reason. They're not even that great of anime eyes. I know I've done so much better, but I don't know. I just think they're pretty. They remind me of like marbles, like a doll. So here I'm just gonna block in more colors. The little sea foam, right? It's sea foam. That's what we call it, sea foam. That's going to be blocked in. And then I added the brown background in the back. So then I can make sure that, you know, like there's openings where I want openings to be, that I can actually tell like where the white ends and where it begins. If any of you guys need a tip, make sure that you always have a background, because you're going to miss a lot of things, especially when using really light or really dark colors. But yeah, this took forever. Yeah, because this is sped up, I think, by a lot. Let's just say a lot. So, okay, here's the gray that I was talking about. So, I actually had heard this tip from Jazza. I was watching a Jazza video, and he was saying, you know, use piece on gray and then block in the shadows, so then you have a better idea of like where you want the shadows to end and where you want them to begin, and it makes it easier for you to see the depth of the character. So I took that into account and I just practiced with it, wanted to see. Now, when he did it, he used Photoshop. And I kind of didn't think about this at first, but Photoshop has a lot more that you can do with overlay layers than Sai does. So with Sai, you have kind of the basics. You have a multiply, you have a shade, you have a brighten, you have a shine, those types of things. Now with the overlays that Jazza was able to use, he was able to use, you know, all of those overlays plus some, and then on top of it, he could section pieces out and then change the, how do I say it? He was also given sliders to change like what parts he wanted enhanced, how dark he wanted the darks, how light he wanted the lights, that type of stuff. Now you don't have that inside, and I hadn't realized that, but it will kind of come to bite me in the butt in a little bit. But for the first part, it's kind of nice. Oh yeah, sorry for that color shift. I ended up turning the gray into more of a blue because it just matched better with the waves. It added a better effect. So instead of it being like a greenish gray, it's more of like a bluish gray. But in all honesty, it doesn't really change anything too much. I think it was just so then I could look at it better. What was I saying? Yes. So it's actually really nice to work with Jazza's system, because it helped me like actually define what I want high, what I want low, the real depth that I actually want in this picture, which was really nice for me in this because it helped me especially make the waves not flat. I could have done a lot better, I think, in the skin details, but in the same sense, I'm a very cartoon type artist. I can paint, but it doesn't come out as nice as if it's a cartoon. So a lot of my characters are 2D, they are flat looking. I wouldn't say flat looking, but they don't look painterly. They don't look like they're painted. They don't look like they have, it doesn't look like I spent 4 hours on trying to attempt depth on this character. But in this drawing, I did want it to look more not painterly. I wanted it to look more like a painted scene, but I wanted to also make sure that it kept my cartoony look so that it was flat in certain areas. So I actually do think that I achieved that really well. I do think that I was able to get like the picture the way that I wanted. and for this she looks like a murderous zombie because I am still practicing with overlays. Psi 2, because I'm using Psi 2. I had shifted from Psi to Psi 2, and the overlays are nice. It's a lot to learn to work with them. So then I got the shadows in the way that I wanted, and now I just had to go in and fix up the line art, change the color of it, so then it looks more like what I want and it blends better instead of it looking like a black outline, because black outlines on characters just don't look good. Finally, I think I got it done, and I signed right here, and there it is. So in the background, I believe I added a white outline, changed the background color, but in the end, this is what it was. I'm thinking about making this available as like a sticker in case you wanted it on your computers or anything like that. So if you think that's a good idea, let me know in the comments below. But yeah, I think she came out really nice, and thank you guys so much for being patient with me on this video. There's a lot that has been happening, but your support really does mean a lot. So have a wonderful time. Thank you for everything.